Hi, Cynthia Schiller. Hey, survivors. So, yeah, technical difficulties. At least I have my voice on. I had to re-log in. It usually um, lets you set things up. So, I had it all together. So, hopefully, you guys will find this link. And we are going to talk about the narcissist, why it seems that they're always winning, and are they really winning? So, I did a lot of studies today on the different things that go on with our brain, also our heart, the different outcomes on our body through trauma, our CPTSD that a lot of us are going through. So I don't know who just logged in. It's Sam. Hi, Sam. I had it all set up where, um, I could just go live and it wouldn't load. So I had to reset this up. John was ready to go. Hopefully he'll find us. How's your day going today, Sam? And we're going to talk. This is going to be really helpful for you. Uh, Oh gosh, I left my phone there. So I think it's going to be really helpful for you because we're going to talk about the health that we go through and the different energy fields. We even get like 3 millimeters extra energy field around our heart when we're in a better place. So that's why it's really important to get our minds and our hearts right because once we feel full, we're going to be more likely to be able to give. Things aren't going to bother us anymore, and it's going to change who we are in a good way and bring us the life that we need. So I know, Sam, with your situation, you're still with your person. Does it seem like they're always winning no matter what? They always have to win that argument. With other people too, your person might have moved on to a new supply. Are they really winning? And we'll talk about that. Hi, Calibri, saying hi to me and Sam. John's supposed to be joining us. He's in the other chat room. It won't load, so I'm glad you guys could find me. And Mahogany says hi to everybody. So good to have you guys here. This is going to be a good chat. I learned a lot of cool things and in a different way to present it. So I began speaking about the 3 millimeters extra energy field around our heart when we're in a better place. Our perceptions of life, our survival modes come from our childhood. Same with the narcissist, their survival mode, everything like that comes from the childhood. So we have to do everything we can to live the life that we feel is our life. And I know when we start to hurt, in my interpretation, it's because people aren't seeing the value in us. So some of us stick through these relationships for a long time. When we're wondering about the new supply, it's most likely going to fall apart because they have their childhood traumas and now they're with the narcissist and it's just going to be those dynamics. It's going to be one person hurting the other person just because they're not connecting in the right way. Kalibi says a male narc's watch was a little too fast today. He missed out harassing you. Well, that's good news. You saw his ugly backside. Yeah, so, yep, sorry about your luck. Little too late today. That's awesome. I like hearing that. Sam says, hi to Calibri. Also, hey, that her day was good. Was a little hard earlier. Your husband was devaluing you so bad, made me cry in the car. I know I'm not staying with them. Yeah, there's a time when it's just hurting us. No matter what we do, it's not changing, it's getting worse. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. And thank you for that thumbs up, helping with my algorithm. Maybe that'll bring John back into the room. I feel so bad that it didn't set up the correct way. But our energy makes us feel alive and it keeps us healthy. There's all these different chemicals, each and everything that we do. I know when I was taking dance classes, I loved doing that. I felt good. Things that we enjoy when we do them. It's like we take a snapshot of that particular whatever. Same with trauma based things. And that becomes a memory, it becomes a forefront in our mind. Sometimes we pack it away, but when we connect to those emotions, that kind of either consciously or subconsciously comes to the surface and it changes our chemistry within our body. So like Sam, when you were going through your thing today, it set off your chemistry for your safety. And Kalibi says, curiosity here. Why does the female narc wear the nauseating cologne? She wears this heavily. Do narcs smell? No. Mine, uh, actually, both of them really didn't like to wear cologne. The first one would a little bit, especially in the beginning. Um, but it's just a trademark scent, because even healthy people do that. It's, I don't know, mating ritual. So, sometimes too, they, might be lazy with showers. So they want to make sure that they smell good. And also, this is kind of interesting how we talk about the emotional level of the narcissist is kinda childlike. It reminds me, I was teaching gym where I taught kindergarten through 8th grade, and the 7th and 8th graders, they, for one thing, they stunk, some of them, and then the other ones would overcompensate. There were some clean ones, but they felt, to be grown up or whatever, that they overdid the cologne. So, no, that's not necessarily a narc thing. It's somebody who's either not conscious of how it smells. Some people like different things, so they might think that, they smell really good. Yeah, I don't know, yeah, uh, hmm, or to cover up, that they've been with somebody else. So instead of smelling like, I don't know, Dracar Noir, they smell like Fruit Loops. So I don't know, Calibri. Samantha says, he always leaves me at the store and walks ahead of me. That's one thing that you will notice. They do walk ahead of you. They're just in a hurry. Let's go, let's go. They're not concerned that you're either, having the three kids with you. They're just on their mission. They're just doing their own thing. And it kind of hurts. We're like, I thought we were a couple to become one. And that doesn't feel like one. It feels like two different people. Sam says, "It's if I smell good, people will want to create with me, I think." Yeah, like I said, kinda like a mating ritual. I s I smell like flowers, so let's have a baby. Cleary says, "I do wear cologne too, but I wear it lightly, and I've noticed it's a bit heavy. I dilute it with a towel." Yeah, and some people just aren't aware of it. They just aren't aware of it. They might just like spray it, but they don't realize it's already on their coat, or they think it's going to dissipate over time. Calibri says, just look at Trump when he visited the Queen of England. He walked in front of her. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, too, you got to be careful on the cultural stuff. Was it Michelle Obama who gave the Queen a hug? Sometimes we're so used to doing certain things that we forget what's cultural. So it's really important to know. I know I went to China and you're not supposed to put your chopsticks straight up and down in the rice or anything like that because it reminds them of death. And yeah, it's interesting. You got to know certain things. Lily says hi. I hope John joins us. I feel so bad he hasn't. I did leave a note, so he'll probably join us. Lily, good to see you here. And this is a really interesting, kind of an important kind of thing that we're going to talk about today. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to join in. But I've been talking about the different energy levels that we have, how we have to up our vibrations. When our vibrations are in check, that's when people are going to be drawn to us. And we got to redo what has happened to us. And oh, you're cooking. You got to tell me what you're cooking. I thought about cooking today. I let my, neighbors use my pots and pans. I'm kinda glad that I did so I didn't have to cook. And, Samantha's given some big hugs to Lily, and, um, tomorrow I will be doing a later chat. I'm gonna go visit my mom. She got transferred into a new rehab center, so, gotta travel back and forth across state, but, you know, our vibrations are so important. So even if it's not, spaghetti, ooh, I live alone and I just bought 3 pounds of hamburger. I think we should have a spaghetti party. I'll bring the meat. Lily says, "Hi, Calibri, Sam, and Mahogany." Yeah, what are you cooking? I love knowing what people cook because I grew up where we had chicken, tacos, or spaghetti, so I don't even know what else is out there. But, um it was really interesting how they said 3 extra millimeters of an energy field around our heart and how our heart and our brain. So when our heart is full, we're thinking with our heart, we're giving with our heart. When our heart is not full, where things are missing, we go to the brain. And it's it's an emptiness. We're pulling on some of our memories that haven't been good, our perceptions, like I said, are from our childhood, and that does not align with the narcissist. And it's just going to keep us off kilter. It's going to be a never-ending cycle, a downward spiral. Um, and you are inspired to cook cowboy beans this weekend. I may have to get some more ingredients. Ooh, I don't even know what's in there. I think there's corn and beans. um, but it all these chemicals that are released in our body tie us. It changes our physicality on the inside. So that's why you hear about all these different autoimmune disorders, sensitivity to things. So is the narcissist really winning? They move on with the new supply, and they're able to live this lie in the beginning. Um, and then it starts pulling from their childhood traumas, or they're releasing onto us their childhood trauma. So it's not always something that you did. And it doesn't even mean that you did anything wrong. You just did something, or they saw something. And oh gosh, I don't even know how to say that. Chorizo. I don't know how to say that. Chorizo. I don't know how to say that. Chorizo. We're gonna call it that, guys. Calibri and some sweet peppers, not hot. Yeah, I can't handle the hot stuff. Chorizo, is that how you say it? Chorizo? Test the teacher day. Lily says, I am cooking chicken breaded with shake and bake, and I added brown sugar in the mix. I never thought to do that. That was my secret recipe. Remember, on top of my muffins, just add some brown sugar crumbles, just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, we should start a cooking show, The Narcissist and Baking. Brown sugar and those bite-sized mixed potatoes. This recipe that you could cut them in half face down on like a cookie sheet of melted, I'm sure you say butter. I bet that's going to be amazing. Oh, chorizo. Chorizo. That's probably right. Thank you. I teach English as a second language. I'm thinking that that might be Spanish. Calibre says, "Oh, I did pronounce it like a pro." Brr, brr, got that chorizo. It doesn't have a rolling R. Chorizo. I bet you it rolls. Lily says melted butter and Parmesan and Italian seasoning mix like a paste, and the potatoes cooked on top. Oh, so good. So we don't even need our ex narcissist. We are just going to have like a food party. And talk about food though. Um, you know, the different things that we do. Sometimes we overeat or don't eat. It's all to rebalance everything that's going on with ourselves. And so when we get more in tune with our emotional health, our physical health pretty much just falls back into place. I've seen a lot of people say that their autoimmune um, issues have gone away, and diabetes and all those things that can go on. Also, we got to remember this can get real severe. Sometimes you can die of a broken heart syndrome, where your aorta actually rips off your heart. Ran out of room to type. I know, and bake at how 350 for um but it's really important to get that energy field back up, to be in our balance. You also saw fried collard. I have never had collard greens ever. I don't know why. Another option this weekend. Oh, yeah, I heard collard greens are really good. I probably would like them, and with some ham hocks. Ah, I'm addicted to salad. I love salad, cheese, and now I'm being naughty and eating bacon bits. That's just my favorite food. My mom actually took me to the doctors. They're like, "Do you know why you're here?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Your mom's concerned that you like salads." It was kind of funny. That's my favorite food, though. But when I know Sam, I've been thinking about you and a lot of you guys a lot too. Sam's still like in the middle of what she's going through. I did curl my hair. It's starting to come out a little bit though, but thank you. Yes, I decided I need to be a grown up. um, I curled it. So I have for the last couple videos, but you can't see it because it's so I got a chair. I got this table in the middle of my living room, but I think this is why it didn't go on. I had like a waterfall thing going on in the background. I had it all set up for you guys, but it wouldn't log in, so I had to turn it off. But yeah, I want to buy a house. Want to get like some property with a swimming pool or a lake. Have some outdoor things this summer, um, like a pool party. But the energy field is going to just fall lead us into the life that we're meant to have. It's going to have people come towards us also when we're full in our heart. We're giving and we're not necessarily even expecting. We just have so much happiness and we want to share it with people. We don't feel a need to have validation, or it just happens naturally. The people that are appreciative are going to say it. If they don't say it, we gave it from a full heart. So we're not missing anything. And when it's like that, people naturally will uh you know, fill our cup back. The reciprocity is really important. So thank you, Sam. You believe what I'm saying, and it's true. And I've talked about this manifestation, and a part of me was like, this is some bullshit. But if you really think about it, not necessarily that you're controlling the universe or it's controlling your energy field and everything. I've said this a couple times, so I'm not going to try to say it too much more. But that one little grain of sand that this little girl way across the world kicked up into the air, and it just created this whole new thing from one little thing. So each and every interaction that we have leads us down certain paths. So even let's say, and it could be positive or negative. It's just going to lead us down a different way. So let's say I go to the gas station, the person's rude to me, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to go about my day. It kind of sets me off a little bit, though. It's going to change how I might interact with people. Or let's say I bitch with that person. So now, we're bitching to each other, and it changed a delay in when I get into something else, which causes a whole new situation that you enter. So every little everything affects everything. Um, and Lily says, "Because your head doesn't spin by their antics." Yeah, exactly. I like the way you said that. I do hope you watch that hurricane. It's about a hurricane, and I shared it on one link. It's fascinating to watch. And then you see the outcome of just this explosion of horrendous weather. There was what? Hurricane Katrina, I think, had 38 tornadoes. It's 36 or 38 tornadoes spun off it, and massive devastation from, just some little disturbance that caused this huge storm. And um with the new supply, it's bound to happen because they have those little twists and turns that are going to fuck it up. Lily says, good sis, glad you're free from that anxiety. You said, I felt like I had generalized anxiety when with the narc, and I was alone, not all the time, but a lot, just doing errands. I was on edge, but not anymore. That's when our energy field is off and we feel it because it's, in a sense, killing us. It's causing autoimmune, heart disease, diabetes. If it's like we feel it killing us. And yeah, Dr. Romney, she has some good advice. You saw her this morning about owning your own boundaries in interacting with narcs. The boundaries are for us. They are for us. And I've also been really trying to understand this manipulation. So some of it, it's hardcore, sneaky. We don't always see it. Um, but I was kind of thinking, like as far as what we can do the best for ourselves too, because every little conversation, if you guys are like, should I go back to school? Granted, it's good if you ask for my opinion, but I'm going to tell you what I feel based on my perceptions, like, yes, you can do it, believe in yourself. And then you're going to have your perceptions of either you may feel inadequate, or you're too nervous, you have social anxiety, or it's too expensive. Might see it as all you got to do is pay it back, you'll get that job. And you might be stressed because maybe I have more money than you, or I grew up where everything worked out financially. You've listened to Dr. Ramani. She's great, just like I, Cynthia. Well, I take that as a compliment because, yeah, she's pretty well known across YouTube, and I listen to her a lot. Um, and that's the thing, get my perspective, get other people's perspectives, and it helps when you add to the conversation, and also helps you, because sometimes too, even just the different delivery. Her and I could say the exact same thing, but sometimes it makes a difference on how it settles in your mind. And I take that as an excellent compliment. Thank you, Lily. Lily says, Sam, she has categories and you should search and listen to her about marriage narc. So yeah, go ahead. Feel free to get other people's opinions too, because that's a big decision you're going through. Adam, hello, good to have you here. John still hasn't joined us, but Adam, so good to have you. Feel free to join in. This is a really important thing we're talking about to get our energies back. So Kalibi says, just like refraining and calling the narc a narc. Yeah, there's no point. It's just going to cause an argument. It's going to upset their energy balance. And so when their energy balance is off, they're going to attack. They go into that survival mode. Their heart is not whole. And there's Sammy Sam. Hello, everyone. Excellent. Thank you for joining us. So we got Sammy Sam. Samantha, you lost your nickname. So that's what I call Samantha. So I will do better about that. And lots of love to Adam. And you're going to love this channel. Is we got a good group of people that are interacting with each other, getting to know each and every one of us because we are special and we have to believe that, Kalibi says they will just have a material to bring to the courts. Yeah. Yeah, you were abusive to me. You called me a narcissist. Document everything, and you know, um, they go on the attack. They go into survival mode. That's why, a lot of times divorces, it's either going to be they're so fed up they want to walk away because children will do that. They don't know how to deal with it, so they walk away. Others will attack. You can see that too with kids from the different backgrounds, but Samantha says, LOL, well, hey, Sammy Sam. Yeah, sorry about your luck. We got to get you a new nickname, Mrs. Claus. Is that, it's probably, how do you pronounce that? Closh? I don't think it's Claus. Closh. I don't know. Close. You have to let me know how to say that. Adam says, once you experience narc abuse, you never go back to normal again, trust issues, etc. And that is true. But we gotta heal the most we can. I'm a burn victim. I have some burn scars, and they're there just like the scars on our heart. There's different things I can do to minimize whether it's pain or rigidity of the scars. You can use cocoa butter, all these things, massages, whatever, so we can make our heart pliable again, to not give up. A lot of us are like, screw it, I'm never dating again, or nobody's out there for me. But once we get that energy field back up, it's gonna match us. It's like a magnet. We're gonna match to who we need to be with. Kaliwi says, so wearing a body cam will document their nasty attitude. It could, yeah. Um, and then Sammy Sam says, how are you, Samantha? You can call me Sammy, guys. Okay, cool. Sammy. Adam says, what is a super empath? A super empath is like a loving person almost to a detriment. So it would be me, let's say you need some food and I'm like, okay, here's some food. And you're like, need a little bit more. And I'm giving you everything I have. So now I'm starving to death, to where I give too much of myself to basically it kills me in a sense. I got to get work done. And you're like, but I'm really sad. Can you please talk to me? So I'm talking to you and I'm going to quit my job so I can talk to you. Um, uh, and sometimes too, people will do that to get their validation. Like I have to help the world, and I'm worthless unless I help the world. It's almost over the top, and you lose everything. You're not focusing on yourself, and if you're not focusing on yourself, there's something a little off with you too. So we should be kind, but it's to a detriment, because sometimes we're like, I gave everything. I did everything. I quit my job. I didn't want to have kids, but I have 4 kids with this person. And it's like, yeah, you gave your person everything you wanted, but you didn't live your own life. Excellent question. Thank you for that. Sam says, close, as in close. Okay. As in the distance. Close. Okay, cool. I like that. Close. Is that German? I don't know. What would that be? Slovakian, I don't know. Mahogany says, yes. Lily, Adam, and Sammy, hi. How long were you with the Narcs? Yeah, we don't know your stories yet. Feel free to join in. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to share, but you got a good group of people here who want to get to know you. Sam says, doing good, Sammy. You guys, this is like a mind mess. How are you, friend? Adam says, I'm currently still dealing with my narc and I have a child with one. Was it with her for 4 years. How old's your little one? That makes it hard too. Lily says, sounds like you're describing a major codependent person. Also, right. They need somebody to give stuff to, you know. Uh, Codependent, I think, would latch on to more like one person. It You can be codependent and super empathetic, empath at the same time. Um, Kinda. It gets tricky on the little because of the comorbidities and everything like that. But yeah, codependent in a relationship, like you can't function without the other person. You know, you each have your own separate jobs. You know, I'm the homemaker and you're the worker, and then I don't know what to do. I don't know how to pay bills. I'm lost. So, and also you get too lonely because you forgot about having friends you focus on and hold in. Like, I need that person to feel whole. Adam says, was absolutely difficult. I had to go through courts to get contact I hate it. Oh gosh. To get contact as she discarded me when she got pregnant and kept baby away. She's 3 years. It'd be about, what did you guys do? Oh, you retracted it. That's okay. That's okay. Uh, but yeah, sometimes, you know, uh, the courts hopefully are on your side. They're a little bit better with men than they used to be in the past. But yeah, sometimes you have to get those court orders in place. And Lily says, okay. Uh, oh, that's okay. That's okay. I wasn't sure if you're like, I changed my mind. But how long were you together before she got pregnant? This is the sad thing about some women is sometimes they just want a baby. They don't want to share. And were you guys living together or married? And you don't have to answer anything you don't want to, but it gives me a better picture to answer your questions, a little more personalized, but you don't have to answer. Um, but there are women, that they'll be with you till they get pregnant. Or, you know, um, I don't know. That's hard. It causes stress too, and the narcissist, do they win? Do they win? So, if your person's a narcissist, Adam, is she really winning? Like, it's hard being a single mom. Finances aren't as easy. I can't remember the statistics. I had them in my head yesterday. I don't know. It's, with the poverty rate of single parents, and if you're not married to her, she's not going to get alimony, things like that. It's a harder life. It is a harder life. And, you know, uh, Now for Samantha, you're in an abusive situation. So that's, but, Adam was probably being supportive and you were with her for 6 years. Yeah, I got that. Um, was really horrible is how they groom your child and spite them against you. Yeah. And Lily says, yeah, it's tough, Adam. That's the hard part. That is a hard part. And um, yeah, I went through that. My daughter's quote at like 6 to 8 years old was, I used to really like you. She spent the summer with her dad. She's like, I used to really like you, but now that I'm with my dad, I realize what it was. I, I used to really like, oh, I have common sense. So a 6 to 8 year old is like, I used to really like you, but now that I've been with my dad, I have common sense. No 6 to 8 year old is like, I really did some reflection and looking back on my long life of 6 to 8 years. Now I have like he must have said, get some common sense. Your mom's a piece of shit, you know. And yeah. It changed our relationship. We had the best, most perfect, couldn't hope for a better relationship. It was perfect. And then all of a sudden she hates me. It's like I didn't even do anything. Um, and it's sad what the parents can do. So, just uh, the courts do say that you can't disparage the other parent, so you can possibly follow up on that she's breaking court orders. Um, and be there the most you can for your kid, and even call them out, like, "Do you believe that?" As opposed to, "Your mom's just saying things." Ask the child, "Do you really feel daddy doesn't love you? How can I show you that I love you?" Kinda touch base with them, because 'cause they're little. They don't understand so much, so if they have some power in it, like, "I'd really like it," and if they say something, "Well, if you would take me to Disneyland," and you could say, "Well, that's too expensive, but I'd love to take you to the park." Little things like that, and just kinda comfort them. That's tough, though. Um, and Samantha's relating to you, and it is tough. Lily says that. Adam says, especially Narc's mother. Grandma? Are you talking about grandma? Or, uh, Sam says, "Oh my goodness, Cynthia, she was repeating most definitely. I'm sorry. See, that's why I'm scared to leave him alone with the kids." Oh, that's okay. Uh, because I wouldn't be there during his visitation to stand up and say no. Oh, I said, yeah. Um, it's like we want some control over it, like what my daughter was doing, like I wasn't in the house to go, "Are you kidding? What are you saying to her?" Um, little things like that. And, sometimes maybe you can get supervised visitation, but it all depends on what the courts see. And that's the sad thing is they're going to say the he said, she said stuff that they don't want to deal with that bullshit. He called me a bitch and she called me fat and whatever it is. They're like, you know, um, just don't do it. Don't say mean things. They brainwash them, and it's so frustrating when they are an impressionable age. Be careful though. When Lily, you're right on that. To expand out is um, be cautious not to overcompensate though. I made that a fault. Your mommy's little princess, not quite like this, but I'm trying to paint a picture for you guys. When you overcompensate, that, you know, uh, you got to kind of meet it more in the middle. Like, let's say, my dad puts me to bed at 5 so he can be with his girlfriend or whatever. So, kid's going to bed at 5, and you're like, that sucks. This kid they can stay up till 11. Even little thing that's too far off. Say, well, 7 o'clock sounds reasonable to me, or 8 or 9. Kind of help. Oh goodness, I have to get this 1 second. Where is it? I don't know. I don't know where it is. Oh well. Um, especially then. Sorry guys. I don't know where I put my phone. Just nervous because of my mom. I don't know where I put it. Oh, I bet I do. Yes, I do. I see it. Uh, if it goes off again, I'll get it. They brainwash them, and it's so frustrating when they are impressionable age. My narc was physically abusive towards me during our relationship. Is it reasonable to ever worry if they will do it to my child? Could be. Depends on how frustrated the kid gets. How yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility. And that's why you got to bring it up at court. That you're concerned about it. Uh, because what's going to happen is, gosh, I don't know. How I don't know. I saw a 3. Is your child 3? Does she believe in spanking? Hopefully, she's not doing anything like that. It is a concern. It is a concern. What kind of physical abuse was she pushing you? Like, just stop, or was she like pounding on you? There is some risk to it. That's what's scary. Uh, so this is Samantha said, "Oh, John's here. Hi, John. That's okay. You were working late on that Mantis project. How's everything going?" We're having a great conversation tonight, and um, you're scared to leave him alone with the kids. Now, do you leave him with the kid? Do you leave him alone with the kids now? Uh, Oh my gosh, all this retraction. John says that, yeah, great to have you here. How's that project going, John? John's working hard. That's the thing. We're building up that energy, doing things that we enjoy. It gives us, gives us some serotonin, those little chemicals in our body that we need to survive. Otherwise, we go into survival mode. And Lily says, "Hi, John." She'll be right back. Yeah, sorry, sorry. That's why I wanted that waterfall to work. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up that I came back. Lily says, "I'm walking dog now and I'm in Florida." Oh, it's chilly out tonight. Well, it's not too bad for Michigan. I don't know what it is, but a little rainy. What's the temperature there in Florida? I, Yeah, because I thought, I did this one time. I was thinking about moving to South Carolina. I had my car loaded up, trying to find my place. I literally couldn't make up my mind because um, had like a traveling business, so I was able to go wherever I wanted. So I go to South Carolina because I just love it there, and it's a little cheaper, at least where I went. And then I went down to Florida, and I'm like, I don't know. I make more money in South Carolina, so I drive from South Carolina, cross over into Florida. I'm like, ah, but you make more money in South Carolina. So I do, and I'm like, but it's warmer and I hate cold weather. Like I literally 36 hours because I couldn't make up my mind. Yeah, try to plan your life out ahead of it's 36 hours. I was so pissed at myself. Um, Kalibi says the narcs in this building are mostly board officers. Now I know that most of these emergency fire alarms turned out false timing. They get to get massive emotional supplies from the homeowner. And that's the thing, they'll play certain games or not think of the outcome, you know, that's you gotta be like, for one thing, I'm a burn victim. For another thing, I'm sure other people have had some fire emergencies they've experienced. Some people could have heart attacks over that crap, so they're doing whatever. Sometimes we don't know the outcome, and, uh hold on one. Hey, you gotta text me. Um, so sorry, guys, this is like a crazy day for me. No, and never with all 3 of them, only to go potty. But then I keep my eyes and ears open to the kids. He does not usually have alone time with the kids. And that's the thing is, gosh, this phone's annoying. Um, is if we're scared to have our person, I really want you to think about that. Is if we're scared to do to even leave our person alone with our kids, is that who we want to live with? So if we're protecting our kids by staying with the person, it's a toxic situation. So Sam, that right there is telling you how uncomfortable you are with him around your kids, and document it, that bring that out in court. And he's only to go potty, like, that's scary, that, and I believe it was Adam who asked, will they get physical? I don't know your person. I don't know their triggers. Um, Kalibi says maybe these narcs notice not too many people are now not buying their evil games. This is the thing is, yes, people are becoming more aware, but more and more people are becoming entitled. And I kind of touched on it a little bit. We are changing this world. And with all this entitlement, all this, fuck you don't do it my way, I'm done with you. People aren't working through their problems. that there's more narcissists in the world, more people that don't care. So we can say, yeah, that person walked away from an abusive relationship. We don't always know everybody's side, both sides of the story, but we are starting to see. You are right. Um, and oh gosh, see Calibri too. The ones in the building that are mostly board officers, they have superiority complex going on, and yeah, they feel they can get away with things. Lily says, "Sam, you have to weigh the crap. You're all in it now, and the abuse is in front of all of you. I would rather be on my own developing happiness with the kids, and they will be able to differentiate. Um, the kids will eventually see through it. You know, a lot of times too, does he want to do certain things like baby just does he encourage you to even just go grocery like, "I'll watch the kids so you can go grocery shopping?" Because if he's not even wanting to and that's the thing too, is you haven't tested him out to where, "I'm gonna go to the grocery store, can you watch the kids? Because 'Cause you're too uncomfortable with that, but, you don't know his reaction. Like, "Are you kidding me? I don't wanna deal with these kids. Wanna play video games or whatever." Sam says, "I don't want Samantha says, "I don't wanna stay with him, but because he's their father, he'll most likely get visitation and I won't be there to watch, and that terrifies me. I'm staying so I can know kids are safe." But this is the thing, they're not. They're not. Um, it's like, it's a bad example, but, if I was dating Jeffrey Dahmer or whoever and, I got kids with them and I'm like, "I'm just too scared." That's when you gotta get the courts involved. Um, because every day is a risk. Every day. If I think I can control something that would be too much for me to control, like Jeffrey Dahmer, he'd still get his way. Uh, I don't know. I know it's scary though, because you don't know what the courts are gonna do. Um, I don't know. Lily says, like, I mean, the damage will be less and you can path your way to happiness, rid of him. Adam says, "Are most domestic abusers personality disordered?" Yeah. Well, mentally ill, not necessarily personality disordered. Um, and this was interesting too because they said like schizophrenics, they often become more of a victim than the people they abuse. It's weird. Uh, domestic abusers. Are you talking physically or emotionally? Um, let me think on that one. That might that might be true because like uh you know psychopaths and sociopaths, there's something off with their personality, bipolar, borderline. So yeah, that might be actually, I just know that they get really frustrated. There's other people with uh that are mentally ill. That might be, you might be right, Adam. Lily is the only danger his mouth, or do you fear for their safety if they are with him? Good question, Lily. So, Samantha, how scared are you of him physically hurting them? Uh, Adam says ex narc. Your ex narc is not arrogant. Yeah, they're not always arrogant. They're not always arrogant. They're usually entitled to whether it's attention or their way. Some of them have low self esteem that, you know, they're not at that point where, you know, the grandiose will be the arrogant ones, the vulnerable, not so much. Sam says, I went for a walk when 6 year old was 2 and came back to her in spice cabinet on kitchen counter. That can happen. That can happen. Yeah. I had mine deep throating a 9 millimeter down her freaking throat. Um, yeah, I know it gets scary. Uh, Dog Defender, you just saw where oh, I was live. I thought you said, "Yeah, I just saw where you live." I'm like, "Cool." So, yes, I am live. Good to have you here, Dog Defender. And Lily says, "Yeah, worrisome. Document all that." And you said you have recordings. Yeah. So that's gonna come up in court. That can come up in court. Make sure you have a good attorney. And Lily says, "Hi, dog. She took a call and we'll be right back." Yeah, sorry, guys. Um, you guys, sorry, I told him to text me. Getting updates. Calibri, these narcs are mental. They would initiate chaos if they are bored. And that's what they need to. They need to do that. Um, because like I had started talking about uh, the energy field and they're trying to get into balance and their brains like the connections aren't going right with the misfires and they're so lost that they need the high energy to calm them down and um certain people too much stimulation they need it quiet. The narcissist is the other way. And Samantha says, my husband was in the same room, not watching her, but watching TV. Now, this is some of it too, though, is he has become too dependent or entitled to you taking care of the kids. Um, so, you know, I'm I know sometimes we want to be super mom and super wife that we forget to share some of the responsibilities, like I'll give her a bath and then you can go get her dressed while I get the other kid ready for the bath. So he's not participating, and that's kind of us like, I'll take care of it. And I get all three kids all bathed and ready. Um, and that's in a sense something we should have also allowed them to do because there might be something that happens to us where they can't we can't care for the kids and they got to pick up the slack and they might not know exactly what how to do it. But I get it, and that's the thing, we try so hard that sometimes it's to a detriment. um so he's just used to watching TV, and he just goes for what's easy, what suits his needs, and he's in that zone out mode where he's not thinking about anybody but himself, and he just perceives since everything's gone so smoothly with the kids that whatever, the kid's fine. I'm just watching TV. If they cry, I'll go over there and pick her up. Um, they go narc nuts. D's nuts. John, yeah. Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. Calibri says, however, some psychologists claim these narcs have this particular personality trait. I stick to my experiences as these narcs are mentally deranged. Um, this particular personality trait, which one are you talking about? As far as the abuse, fill me in on what you mean. Lily says probably 60s, but I shouldn't talk because really feels great. What am I missing? What's 60s? Dog Defender, there are so many. Did I miss something? Tell me to scroll up if I did. Dog Defender, there are so many great therapists now really speaking up about domestic violence. Now they are specializing now in coercive control, narc abuse, etc. This is finally a move in the right direction. Yeah, we're finally starting to, instead of um, overlooking the outcome, because they were on this big kick about, mental illness. Don't, get rid of the stigmatization or stigma, because they are people, and they overlook some of the outcomes that the detriments, Um, Sam says he does sometimes grudgingly help dry off baby and I put diaper on. Yep, he's on poop duty now to get his act together. Um, yeah, he's just so used to you doing everything, but they still don't appreciate it. And it leaves you exhausted and drained. Dog Defender, they are only interested in what serves them, what they need, want, etc. Yeah. And over time, as we talk about the new supply, they're going to fall into that. So in the beginning, they're going to show you, of course, I'm going to help, and they do it excitedly, and then they're like, "Are you freaking kidding me again?" Um, they just change. They're trying to live in a different energy field. Um, they're trying to get it from us instead of and that's why now that we've been hurt, we have to build up from within. They have to build up from within too, because otherwise it gets to the point where we're trying to take from each other. The narcissist doesn't give very much, so we're continually giving and giving. We're getting rid of our energy. We're exhausting ourselves. It's got to be a balance, and once it gets off, it spirals out of control. And that's why, do they win? They won another failure. They won another failure. They have a new supply, and it's interesting how, you know, uh these patterns repeat themselves. Why is it that usually at the 7-year itch, it's interesting too how that's when our body rejuvenates. We get pretty much all new cells every 7 years. And it's like, what is this turnover? It's something kind of interesting. Why 7 years? What is up with that? Um, Lily says, right, all about them. Ex-narc used to badmouth about other people saying they're an me person, and was creepy projecting his projecting because that was how he was. Yeah, just me. Uh, they don't like to use the word we very much when they start to go into that devaluation stage. There's been people who have said, like, let's say we're all at a party. I'm not married, but let's say I'm with my husband, and he's like, "Yeah, I just went to Hawaii." And you're like, "Honey, we went to Hawaii." Like I would say, "We went to Hawaii and had a vacation." A lot of times they're just like, I went snorkeling. And you feel like I thought it was a shared experience, and they take that away from you. Um, Lily says, "Is a female, I believe. I don't see your picture right now. Yeah, dog defender. I can't really see you. I believe from talking before you were female. Um, dog defender says they are only interested in what serves them, what they need and want. You guys are right. The abuse the narcs are doing, the lack of remorse and accountability, and that's where it starts taking from our energy level. They do us wrong, and they don't even try to repair it, so we got to repair it. So not only are we trying to repair it, we're trying to um, cause that not to happen again. And we can't feel like we can't talk about it, we can't compromise. Lily says, right, all about them. Ex-narc used to badmouth about other people saying they're, oh, I'm sorry guys, it's going all over. Female, Sam believes that too. I think, yeah, yes, dog defender is a chicky chick. A beautiful chicky chick. Girl power. Kalibi says the new supply turned out to be unreliable. They can definitely start being unreliable. That's why they go back to us. Yeah, the new supply, sometimes, they failed. They saw the shit, or they had their issues too. And we got to think about it too. Like 20-25% of the people at any given time have a mental illness going on, or, there's a lot of struggles. And, it's going to cause that little sandstorm into a hurricane. Dog defender, any cluster B personality disorder person is highly disagreeable, volatile, and not mentally stable. Whether it is a particular type of narcissist or antisocial and sociopath, psychopath. Yeah, they like to be disagreeable uh, because that's when they get the attention. They are like attention whores. Um, and they have to be right. They have to be they feel they have to be noticed. There was one lady who she's got to have some kind of mental disorder, where I don't know her exact weight. I think like 700 pounds or something. Um she wants to be the fattest, maybe, I don't know, 600-700 pounds, but she wants to be the heaviest bride ever. And she says that it's because she wants to bring awareness that being heavy is okay. So we'll go with that. Well, I disagree, but I'm not judging people based on that, but I don't think it's healthy. Um, and I don't think it's living up to your optimum. But we'll give her that. Well, okay, that's your argument. You're being the heaviest bride to bring awareness, that it's okay to be heavy. She could do that now. She's 700 pounds. She just wants to be the best of the best. She does not need to be top heavy bride to do that. She's in the top probably 2%. Like that's close enough, I think, you know. And there's something going on. It's not healthy to want to put your life in a detriment. It's kind of a sick relationship too, because if you're heavy because you overate, I still love you. But if you're purposely trying to put your health at risk, it's creepy how her man feeds her. Oh, it's 30,000. She's eating 30,000 calories a day. 3,000, you probably gain weight. I gain weight if I eat over 1,200. The average is like 2,000. But you know, um, 30,000 calories a day, so she can be like, come on. There's something wrong with that. No, it's just hard to see. All I can see is a little bit of dark with it looks like sunglasses, and I do see some hair down here. It's just so minuscule. Not all of us have great. No, you don't look like. It's just hard to see. It's hard to see. Yeah, for me, I can't see facial features, but out of what I see, I would guess you're a girl. And I have, if you're beautiful. I'm sure you are. Lily says, "Oh, I didn't look at the photo. Sorry." Yeah, sometimes too, we got to use different information. Yeah, sometimes we just see the name because not every, and that's the thing. We kind of train our minds certain ways. When not everybody has a little profile picture, we kind of tune it out after we've seen several like pictures of whatever. Because I do that too. Like you're like, oh, I'm used to not seeing faces, and so you just read what the person is. So that's just the way our minds work. Um, Kalibi says, but this time we have our guards and boundaries up, so no coming back here, Narky. Yep, sorry, Narc, you're done. um, and boundaries are good. Try not to put up a steel wall, but have boundaries. Allow people to come to the front door as opposed to this big old moat and they're on the other side. Get to know people, but get to know them slowly. You build that trust and see what the person's about. And Samantha says, "You look like a female, just tiny pic, LOL." We gotta be careful on that too. Like I teach English as a second language online, and sometimes too, yeah, just long hair. It's hard to tell because if you can't see the facial features, and even then, sometimes we're off too. And I've done that. I've messed up a couple times on what the person was supposed to be. So Kalibi says, yeah, not coming back. And Samantha says, I look like a forest in mine. Run, Forest, run. Lily, Cynthia, you must have had nightmares about that. Oh, you're not kidding about that 9 millimeter. My ex was a state cop. He left it on the night table. And I mean, we're talking all the way down her freaking throat. Yeah. She's on the bed, just deep throating it. So I'm not talking, it was just here. It was down her throat. And yeah. And his response was like, it's got a safety on it. And I'm like, we cannot leave. You're gone around. He's like, but it's got a safety. Like even you probably couldn't. And it's like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Like, I'm not asking, do you think I could accidentally shoot it? It's like, let's just not even go there. Whether you think it's difficult or not, get rid of the risk. So yeah, that was kind of like, he didn't just say, okay, I'll put it up. It had to be you know, this whole excuse of why it was okay. It's not okay. And I told you too, that kid at my school shot his own finger off. Like, it's not good. Dog Defender says, I just heard something very interesting about us, the victims of these monsters. They said there are usually three reasons we are so willing to try so hard for so long: religion, finances, and lack of info. I will agree with that 1,000,000%. Yep. It's going to cost a lot. Also, the hassle. Some of us are, lazy, like, what or lack of, self-esteem as well, like, "I'm not pretty enough, who's gonna want me?" Or, "I got fat, now I gotta who's gonna want me?" Or whatever we think is desirable. "I'm not educated, nobody's got" whatever it is, but I would say low self-esteem too, add that in. Uh and that could be lack of info on ourselves, that we have to take our lives back and believe in ourselves. So I would add self-esteem into that too. But yeah, definitely religion. I took a vow in front of my God. Finances, yep, lack of info because we don't understand it. Some of us think, thank you for that. Thumbs up, helping with my algorithm, get this channel noticed so we can have a big old convention somewhere. Oh, you have to go. Samantha, lots of love to you. Thanks for joining in. And Lily says, interesting dog. I like that. What's up, dog? um, but yeah, that's interesting. The weather temperature is 60s. That would be tolerable. I still like it warmer, but that would be tolerable, especially in January. Uh, Dog defender, I will have to get the therapist that spoke about this, Lily. It makes more sense. Um, yeah, I totally agree with it though. I would just add self-esteem. Uh, Dog defender, and that could be coupled into the lack of info. Dog defender, did you hear about the school teacher shot today at school? No. I go back Monday. And you guys know I'm a teacher. I had one time where we've had where we were on lockdown, we had a security guard. There's been bomb threats, things like that. But this was down in Tennessee. I was working at a college and I hear the shoot. It was like a shooting over in Oklahoma or Utah. I think it was Oklahoma. And I'm like, relax, the chances of that happening at your school, it happens, but you'll be okay, you know? And so uh, I go to bed and I put that kind of out of my mind. You're going to work, you're fine. And I get a call in the morning from the teacher that I used to work with at like a Christian school. And I went on to the college. And so she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah." I thought she was like, "Mentally, are you okay? We had a school shooting on the other side of the country." And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, good. I was so worried about you because there was a shooting last night. I missed it by like 20 minutes or so. And it was less than, it was like 1 to 200 feet from where I was parked. So I missed a murder on campus by 20 minutes." Um, and yeah, I didn't hear about that. Where was that? There was one kind of by where I grew up. Was the boy, what did he kill? Four kids? What was his name? And his parents bought him the gun. I don't know if you remember that one. Um, but that was one in Michigan, recently, like a year and a half, a year ago. No, probably on ABC News that I missed tonight. Oh my gosh, they are tormented soul. A small child was a witness. And that's the thing. They're going to be traumatized by this, even just going back to school. um, can be terrifying. I've seen kids that were terrified to go back to school after COVID, and the shooter was a 6-year-old student in Virginia. Oh, was the shooter or the victim? The victim was a 6-year-old student in Virginia. Oh, a life-threatening injury. Oh gosh. Ethan Crumbly. God, that makes me sick. And do you know if it was targeted? Um, Hi, JG. I didn't know you were here. Hi, JG. That is crazy. The shooter was, oh, so yeah, you are saying it was a 6-year-old. And did she shoot herself or somebody else? Was it a girl? Why am I saying she? She. Okay. Did she fill me in on that? And then Ethan Crumbly. I'm confused. The shooter, Ethan was a 6-year-old? I'd be surprised they put his name out already. Um, I'm missing something with the story, but, yeah, kids, they also think that they're invincible. They don't realize, and that's why gun safety child was a shooter, teacher was shot. And that's what's scary, is we had down in Florida, there was a time at the school I was at that one child brought the gun, the other child brought the bullet in backpacks on the school bus. Luckily, they're they were, severely emotionally disturbed kids at the entire school. That's all we dealt with, and the bus attendants were on it, so that was stopped. But yeah, kids sometimes they don't realize exactly what death is. They're just mad. You drop the link. I don't think so. It hasn't gone through for me. I don't know if they block it, because YouTube might think you're trying to, steal my business, taking somebody to a different site. Um, that might be why the link isn't showing. Uh, and I don't mind you posting it, but that might be why a link didn't come through. And Running Bear, hi, Running Bear. Thanks for being here with us. Defender, you were asking about the child who was the shooter a year ago and parents bought the gun. Oh, Ethan. Okay. Yep. Thank you. That's making sense now. Uh, yeah, I can drop my email. Oh, crap. I got to call my friend. She lives out there. Newport News, Virginia. You're stealing me? You're stealing my business. Yeah. Gabrielle's costumes at gmail.com. And I have a website for Soul Survivor, but I don't know what it is. I still got to get my act together. So be patient. Yeah, you guys can reach out to me by email. I don't mind that at all. So uh, that's the thing, though, is responsibilities have gone down. Um, we have a lot of confusion on, uh, you know, um, whether gender identity is right or wrong, there's still that confusion going on. A lot of people that are lost, uh, and not knowing how to handle things, a lot of frustrations, and, you know, uh, everybody's off balance. Things aren't feeling right. Things aren't making sense. We're causing extra frustrations. And um, just remember that, though, that 3 millimeters of extra energy around your heart, that energy field, uh, how that just sets things back into balance. So how do we do that? We got to start loving ourselves. As I read it, um, that was not an accident. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. For some reason, it's stuck in my head that it was not accidental, Calibri, because it sounds like the teacher or the kid was pissed. Either got a bad grade or yeah. I've been punched in the stomach by a 6-year-old. Um, yeah, yeah. We get hit. We get targeted. Did the teacher die? I believe you're saying that it was life threatening. That's the thing. I had another teacher too. It wasn't a death, but at that school I was telling you about where they brought the bullets and the gun to school. Like I'll even say it, she was better than me in my opinion. She was top notch, a most amazing teacher we had, and she got beat up at our school, and she quit. Um, she had more education than I did, like a beautiful maternal type woman, like pleasing to look at, and kind-hearted maternal. Hamilton grows adults only. I don't know what that means. Uh-oh, bimbo moment. I'm not sure what you mean, Hamilton grows adults only. Hamilton might be a city or a person. And Kalibi says the teacher was brought to the hospital and is in critical condition. And it It's so scary, this world that we're getting to. Um, how are we gonna handle this, you know? I was watching this, movie Ambulance. Have you guys seen that movie Ambulance? So I know some of you guys don't like knowing the outcomes of movies. I don't care because I never watch movies and it doesn't bother me anyways. So I'm going to talk about it not in detail, but kind of how interesting it was. So it'll give away a little of the story plot if you don't want to hear it. Tune out for 5 minutes. But it was, going to intent and trying to do the right thing and how lies and everything all go out of hand and what happens to people. So when we're in our toxicization, which is a new word, the devaluation stage, they go into this overdrive and things get super terrible. So in this movie, the guy's trying to do the right thing. Nobody's helping him. He's trying to get his wife like cancer surgery, doesn't have the money, trying to get finances, needs help. Nobody's helping him. So somehow it gets into this like bank robbery type thing. He doesn't want to do it and he feels like helpless. He's trying to help his wife. So, there's all these different little lies, different little beliefs, and uh, they go, to rob this bank, and all these things go wrong. So sometimes when you have good intention, uh, they get so out of hand. And it was interesting when they were doing this, they went into overdrive and everything is going wrong. They could stop and make it less worse. But they make it worse by continuing on the overdrive. And Kalibi says we are dealing with mental cases. A serious reason we have to watch out for the narcs actions. Exactly. And we do have to watch because like I was just trying to say is once it gets into overdrive, they go full throttle. And if you ever watch that movie, it does show how they don't give a fuck about anything. And when you don't give a fuck about things, everything falls apart. And then in the end, it leads to complete chaos, often destruction or death. And, you know, uh, we also have to be careful too. That's why I said, as far as like getting revenge and things like that, we don't want to make the situation worse. We don't want to stimulate them into wanting to get more. Uh, if we get them into 1 second. Yes, I'm in the middle of a live. Are you good though? Are you good? Or do you need a ride? Okay. All right. Um, so when we handle them, we don't want to cause their mental illness to get worse. But how do we handle it? That's why revenge. I don't suggest it. Um, and we got kids, having access to things, seeing the way that the parents interact with each other, all this anger. Um, and that kid probably just wanted to be liked. The kid probably didn't want to get in trouble. Um, I don't know, but the narcissist in the end, they don't win. They definitely don't win because their energy field, even with the new supply, it's like a temporary hit, but it's going to get off balance again because they're taking, um, and but at the same time they're depleting the person that they're with, so that person is now off balance. So if they would be whole within themselves, which they're not, because they're not working from the inside out, and we have to rebuild, we have to work from the inside out. So the narcissist, it might seem like they're winning, it's just during that cycle. You see all these famous movie stars, they're on top of the world and then it usually crashes. So that's what's happening with a narcissist. You know, Calibri says it's just like dealing with a beehive. You don't want to poke it. Excellent. I love that. Yep. Yep. You can either quietly get rid of it, handle it the right way, whether you exterminate it or just move it to a safer spot. But yeah, poking it. Because that's what it is. Poke, 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 poke. That we were, pushing each other's buttons and who's getting the last slam in. Um, I love that you said that because that's what you're going to unfold is a swarm of attack. Um, and since they don't have any empathy, it's like no holds barred to where, we might be like, oh, I can't do that. I can't burn the house down. The kids might be in the house, but they could be like, fuck this shit, you know? Um, they can be dangerous, so you have to handle them in a different way. Just like the kids at school. Some of the kids do have some mental issues and you have to uh, kind of deal with them in the way that they need to be dealt with. Just like when I teach, there's different ways to teach. So you got to teach in different ways to reach that one child. So there's, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, where you teach in all those different ways. It helps, giving them different aspects, but they're going to, if they're auditory listeners, they'll learn that way. Um, but when you're having a conversation or a relationship or trying to work through things that um, you have to like meet them. It's nice if you meet them in the middle, but it's just always going to be destructive. They're just too entitled. They go through those cycles where their energy is built back up, whether you just had sex with them or told them they were fantastic. So their energy is up. And then something goes wrong. Their energy field is going to go down. They have energy going on in that brain, but it's not in their heart. And we want to build the energy in our heart. Right now, our heart, it was taken from. So we're going up into our brains and we're going through that's where this rumination comes from, is we are being flooded with these memories. And, we're trying to figure it out. Uh, and all we have to do is build up from within. And it's amazing how that works. And I've done things for myself where I'm starting to build up from within, and it does make you feel better. So that's why acceptance is important. Calibri says, walk away, ignore them. Yep. There's times it's like, look, I would give them, like legally too, you're supposed to give them at least one warning. Like, I'm done. I can't continue. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Um, or, Dog Defender says children learn best by being taught in their learning style. Actually, we all do. It is so awesome to see as an educator really dialed into this. You go, girl. Thank you. Yeah, and it is important, because you can sit there like, just look at it. Or go, well. And I kind of like that too when I do teach English as a second language. I utilize a lot of different things, a lot of props, and it's amazing. It's amazing seeing how people learn, facial expressions and acting things out, and it's kind of fun too, you know and seeing them too trying to express it. I know my daughter when she was growing up, if I was on the phone and she wanted to ask me something, it was pretty she wanted to play outside, so she drew like a little swing set and stuff, and I'm like, you're trying to communicate with me. And then when she was out in the ball field, she's spelling Gatorade. Like, and then I'm like sitting down from across the room, and um just communication is important, and it's kind of fascinating. That's why I love languages. So Dog Defender says, has anyone here heard the statistics of a narcissistic person changing? They change it. I want you guys, feel free to answer what you guys have heard. Some say it's next to impossible. Some say 50% remission rate. Um, you know, all across the board. You know, you're going to see different statistics, and the statistics are going to be misleading because, for one thing, it depends on the study that's done. For another thing, most narcissists don't go to get therapy. The ones that would probably take the test are probably the ones that are feeling more confident that they've made it. They've probably made more of an attempt to where, maybe after a year or two, and the psychiatrist might say, yeah, this person's been here for this long. But if they've been there that long, and they test those people, it all depends on how they do it. But I just see the cycle. I just see the cycle. I see that more. And I think the pattern of behavior is, um, there are some, and this is the thing, they're still going to feel what they feel. They're not working from within. And they're just going to get frustrated. They are just going to get too frustrated. Um, the thing is if they can work on themselves, it's going to help us too. It's not going to deplete us. It's not going to take everything from us. But their insecurities are going to tear it apart. So there's going to be something where they're going to do a good job at times, and then I'm like, finally, we're doing really good. I love you, babe. I'm going to go with my girlfriends, my female friends, and go to a craft fair, and then something's gonna click. I bet there's guys at that place, or is she spending too much of my money, or whatever's gonna happen, and they're gonna create this story in their mind that is gonna set them off. Sadly, narcs don't have the capacity to change. They are stuck. And am I a visual learner? Very much so. Very much so. I had a French test, and I have like a photographic memory. There was like the word and the definition, and I just like closed my eyes, and I still remember to this day. I could still see the list in my head. I remember scrolling down to calendar and calendrier, and I still remember how to, all that stuff. It was a French word in this matched up with the English word, not the definition. But yeah, visual. Also, I like it all. Uh, it's good to write things down. I just I'm the type of learner. It's like I'll do anything. I'll read it, I'll listen to it. Um, Probably more visual, and that was what was hard about Chinese is like studying different languages, is I could hear it. Because I went to China and I bombarded myself like 16 hours a day trying to learn the language, because I was there for 6 weeks. And if I was writing it down and working through it, I did try the characters, everything like that, but uh, it you didn't know the names of the character. Like, I have to connect certain things too. And it's interesting how people think, the way their mind, you know, when when you read, do you talk to yourself? When you think, do you talk to yourself, or do you see things? And I always wonder, because I'll kind of talk things through in my head, but I've studied sign language. Do deaf people visualize or hear words or visualize signs when they are thinking through their thoughts? Like, thank you and good to see you and all that. Are they seeing signs, or it's kind of interesting. Um, Dog Defender says the stats I'm referring to is a study done by Dr. Ramani and get esteemed colleagues. She states in an interview on Med Circle. Yeah, send me the show. I've probably seen it. Is that with a guy and they're sitting far apart from each other? I've watched a lot of her stuff. I think she has said not really, hasn't she? Um, Lily says, I study for my behavior therapist state boards watching YouTube videos, and I'm visual too, but also now with new techniques is added to it. Yeah. I did a study.com where it was visual and auditory. Uh, Dog Defender says, I was thinking your daughter knew how to get to your style. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that, Dog Defender. To get to my I'm not sure to get to, when she was I don't know, I mentioned something how she had said something when she was, like, 6 to 8 years old, how to kinda jab at me or something, I'm not sure what you mean, dog defender. Um, but as far as dog defender with Dr. Romney, um, I will watch that show. Do you remember what she said? Did she say that it's pretty high chance that they won't? She usually says that, that they're just gonna repeat the patterns or they're gonna learn how to manipulate more. Your auditory now used to be more visual. Let me ask you this, dog defender. You look a lot younger than me, but like I said, I can't see you too much. I'm 52, and I think I'm kind of switching more to auditory. But like I used to have great eyesight, so I'm kind of wondering if that might have something to do with it. I think you're younger than me though. Um, but from what I've heard from Dr. Romney is uh, it's very unlikely, you know. I have heard from other people too that, I saw something about 50%, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think it's a flawed study. It might be a 5-year study. It's hard to study people for, 40, 50 years. How would I describe the color blue to a blind child? Um, through sense, through different smells, and something refreshing. Uh, I'd have to research like what I thought, but kind of like that's a hard one though. That's a hard one. Um, yeah, yep. And that's what we're doing with narcissists is like it's the color blue. Love is the color blue. Like what the fuck? So yeah, I would do it through sense though. And that's the thing is and touch. Sense and touch is how I would do it. And they would just have to accept that as the best they can, just like telling a colorblind person what's purple, red and gray. I think they can't see red, but you know what I'm trying to say is you connect the most that you can, the most that you can, and that's there are limitations in learning. There are, and our narcissists, what's their limitation in learning? They can learn how to act better, but that's the thing is they know how to act better. They know. They do it at work, they do it at church. They just don't do it with the people closest to them because they got to get that frustration out somewhere. Um, but yeah, dog defender, good point. Lily says, I listened to Med Circle once and light went off that my sisters are narcs. Maybe not full blown, but definitely, and my mom too. But she was empathetic, so go figure. Some, you, that's a tough one because some can have some empathy. There are some that can have empathy. Uh, they might be borderline too, though. Are they super emotional? Uh, women women can be narcissists too. Um, there's probably something going on with them. The entitlement, the manipulation. Dog defender, her spelling Gatorade and drawing a swing set. Yes, that's how I was able. Oh, about my daughter. Oh, that's why you asked me if I was visual. Oh, no, it just worked. She was on the ball field and couldn't communicate with me unless she did that. And her drawing a swing set was because she knew, he shouldn't really interrupt. So she wanted to still communicate and be respectful at the same time. So that's interesting that you picked up on that. But no, that was used for a different purpose, totally different purpose. Her was being respectful and she wanted Gatorade. And then if she's way across, I didn't want to shout. I'm being respectful and still getting the point across. Mama wants you to sit down. And it's just something fun, a little something different. It's just effective, you know. So I like the way you think though. A little detective out there. Dog defender. Is that a canine dog defender? um, but yeah, there's times that it could be. Um, how was Lily? How was your mom's dynamic with your dad? if he was still around, whether married or divorced, or separated. Lily says, "My mom emotional, but the sisters are cold, self-righteous, and judgmental, complete opposite of me. I'm the youngest." And you're the black sheep. Yeah, there's usually a black sheep. What's the birth order for you guys? Are you're mm. Oh, I just oh, you said I'm the youngest. Yeah. Yeah, I just saw that. I was gonna ask. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that kind of stuck out. Like they're competing and yeah, they oh gosh. I was either gonna say the oldest or the youngest. And then I was thinking, is that no, I don't think the oldest is gonna fit. Yeah, so probably what I didn't think it through enough to tell you that that's definitely what I would have said, but that's what was going through my head. Dog defender Dr. Ramani cites that even if a narc comes to therapy on their own, ready to work, etc., if they came regularly and did all the work, she said that at the very best possible 20% do a bit better. Yes. Um, and that's yeah, a bit better. Okay. You know, there. I exercised today, burned a few more nanocalories. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference, you know. Running Bear, Cox Internet. Am I supposed to say the word Cox? Is this a trick or is that the name of it? I had I don't know. You just wanted me to say that word. Or is there really a COX internet? Lily, divorced when I was 3, single mom, a good mother. Dad was a nomad, and I didn't meet him until I was 36. He has passed 10 years ago. That's kind of sad. Why was dad a nomad? Uh, like a lot of times, schizophrenics can be a nomad, or did he have any drug issues? There are free spirits too. There's free spirits, or just did he have any struggles? Uh, Dog Defender says that is nothing. 20% possible to be a smidge better. Yeah, and are we willing to risk that? You know, do we want to build our lives over 20% will give us 1% more? Like, ooh, we're so lucky. So that's like with the new supply, you know, what do they get? Okay, now our narcissist is better. 20% of for one thing, it'll only be 1 in 5, which I still think is pretty high. Um, I might agree with that as far as a smidge better. You know, don't stab your spouse. Okay. I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember that. They're not all violent either. They're not all violent, but they are all emotionally abusive. Um, you got to spend a little time with them. How did you feel about that? Because he never married again. Free spirits, traveling guy. No drugs or no drinking. Has loads of friends though. Yeah, so he's just living the best life, you know. But it's sad that uh, he didn't he didn't see the gift that he had, you know. Um, oh, Running Bear, I just missed it. Put that in your bowl and smoke it, baby girl. Don't be a smeg head, right? So yeah, put that in your bowl and smoke it. And I never got into smoking anything because I was always on a diet and I didn't want to get the munchies. Everybody was like, "Man, we had so much fun. Gotta try it." And I was like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Yeah." And then we got the munchies. I'm like, "No, screw it." Self control. So, um, you know, I don't know. You see them get good for a little while. That's when they're with that new supply. Calibri, you are the youngest. Hmm. I'm the second oldest, oldest of 3 girls. So there's my brother and then 3 girls. That's why we have Durban poison. I don't even know what Durban poison is. You guys be good. What are we talking about? um, yeah, we don't poison people. I'm not sure, Running Bear, what that is. Lily says, I turned out good for not having a father. I guess better for a dysfunctional father to be absent. Sometimes, yeah. And that's the thing. Sometimes it is. It's sad to say, you know, that a lot of people stay together for the kids, but is it necessarily the best decision? because they're gonna feel that that's how they should be treated. Um, they're gonna feel like they're not good enough, and that's gonna cause issues, and then they miss out on their full life, and they're gonna have struggles and pains. So good for you, Lily. You are a survivor. Weed baby girl. Oh, really? I told you I don't do that. Durban poison is weed? Okay. Makes you not eat. Oh, I see. Really? There's weed that Oh, no. You are aware of a golden child in my family. He got all the breaks. Yep. Was that the oldest? Mm. So we have our so is the thanks for the little diet tip? Just kidding. But no, I know you're saying thanks to what I said about turning out good. Is that a joke ever? No, 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 don't get high. I don't do it. I'm very naive on it. And um no. And the thing though that I've started researching is that uh psychedelics, like I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't encourage them. I, you know, but I have a nephew who was working on his doctorate in, I don't even know the correct terminologies, psychedelic mushrooms. I just started I Yuska, I can't even I'm really trying to understand it because it kind of floored me. Like my brother's super religious, his wife too. So this kid grew up in a really religious family. So it didn't seem like any of the four kids did any drugs. And there was one time though that he got sick on mushrooms. He went mushroom hunting, I believe for morel mushrooms, but he got like really sick and they ended up in the ER. So I'm thinking he just kind of did the wrong mushrooms. But now looking back, he did this little Facebook post of, "Hey, can you help me out? It's a survey because I'm working towards, I can't remember if it's master's or doctorate. I don't can't remember what level he's at, but he maybe doctorate. He wants to do his thesis on psychedelic mushrooms and utilizing that in therapy. Now, some people too with cancer treatments and all those kind of things, pain management have utilized those kind of things. Um, but with the mushrooms, they're starting to say with CPTSD and stuff. So no, I don't condone advocate for that, but it's something. It's nothing I want to do, but uh, I'd like to study it. I'd like to study it. So, I know my dad was very against, getting high and all those kind of things. And I don't even know the term CBD oil and THC. I think THC is what gets you high. I, but my dad, in the end, before he passed away, he took a couple gummies without the THC, if I'm saying it correctly. And he did say that it helped, but he stopped taking it because it kind of messed with his medication. So, I have a pothead friend. She says it helps, but I think it helps when she likes to get high. But as far as my dad, he didn't want to get high, but it did help with the pain because he was an amputee. So it's just something that's interesting. Um, I think I don't know. I need to study it more. I'm not advocating for it, but I was just joking because I was always on a diet. So Dog Defender says, I'm lost. No disrespect, but know a ton of addicts and never would recommend drugs to anyone in emotional pain. Yeah. And that's why I said, I don't know where that's going with that. And this is why I agree with you, is because it's not solving the problem. It's not solving the problem. That's why I don't advocate for it either. Um, because I've even said this with the different certain medications. They're masking it. They're not healing the problem. They're not getting that person up to their full energy level. So I agree with you. I would never advocate, get lost in a different world. There's a lot of zombies walking around because they're so medicated and they're not living their true life. They're living a medicated life. I know, with schizophrenia, that some people do need certain medications. So, I'm definitely not advocating, to just go smoke down or anything. Um, and I've been depressed. I am not interested in antidepressants. I had a friend, coworker friend, that shot her. She killed herself. She was on Xanax. She did it on. I believe it was actually Christmas Eve. It might have been like the day before, but she shot herself in front of her 4-month old, and the other two kids were downstairs, and so was her husband. And it was because of the medication and stress. I've heard people too. Uh, Messing with some drugs is crazy. Um, I'm not a physician, not you, Cynthia, running bear. I was trying to catch up and didn't know. Okay, that's fair. Um, yeah, drugs can save lives. Like my life has been saved several times. Several times, like, I'm a burn victim. I've had some injuries that led to infections, things like that. Like, there's a couple times I should have been dead, and it saved my life. Um, Also, the medical field, like I had a miscarriage, I was bleeding out, and um, even being put down for surgeries, like it still gets scary. I've had several surgeries, um, but you know, uh, I feel like even with colds, getting sick, that it's better for my body to heal most of the time. Um, there's times you have to go to medication, but as far as dealing with the issues, like I could go get drugged up on an antidepressant. Once I stop that, is it gonna solve the problem? No, I'm just gonna get depressed again. And, it's building a false self. Um, and we can work through it. We can work through it and be a soul survivor. Dog Defender says, I know the drug you are talking about. Yeah, I, Huasca. And I haven't even I watched some of it. It was really interesting what they were saying because it went into like in utero, uh, brain damage things that can go on. It's going to be, it's like a 2.5 hour thing. So I've only watched about an hour and a half of it, and they didn't get to it yet. They glossed over it, but I can't remember how they say it. But my nephew, I might have him as a guest speaker one time, um, because it's interesting that they're thinking about or studying. They might have even started it. Somebody posted on my channel. I suggest like delic mushrooms or something like that, and I'm like, is this just like a hippie chick kind of saying something? But now I'm like, oh, I think this is what they're talking about. Um, Both of your parents aren't narcs. However, I'm aware of the golden child. Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's the oldest child, if you're still here. And you're right, that is exactly what I was talking about. Lily says, my best friend had 2 back surgeries and she's hooked on Percocet. But I know she is for the high. Wish she'd get off it. She drives high. I don't drive with her. Yeah, and Percocet's a painkiller, if I'm correct, right? Uh, and that's the thing. A lot of people are getting addicted once they have some ailment, some pain, that they do get addicted. There's a high addiction rate to that, and um, there's also, she might be. The, I need to study more about fentanyl. I know fentanyl can kind of put you out to sleep, like Michael Jackson was using it to sleep more, but I also know it's like super highly deadly. Even just touching it can kill you. And who is it from 3 6 Mafia? I saw them in concert, but it was like a group. There's like eight concerts at this thing I went to, but boo. I can't remember. A black lady who in her late 30s, early 40s. She died of they think it was laced with fentanyl. She was doing some party thing. It's not Honey Boo. I think it says a B or a C in her name, but she passed away like in the last week or so. But what is this thing with fentanyl? Why do they cut it with that? I don't understand. Does it give them Like, I don't know, end up go pill a lot of pill heads end up going to heroin and fentanyl. I don't even know how they take fentanyl. Um, Cynthia, I know, and that's sad, my degree's in criminal justice. You know, I was at this one police station, they had, like, all these different like, it was like a picture framed, and it had little, like, pills and things like this, and then in the middle, it had this metal piece with, like, liquid dripping out of it. I'm like, "What is that?" And it was, like, glue, airplane glue. I'm like, "Oh." Um, yeah, I'm real naive on drugs. Uh but and I went to nursing school. Like, I did go to nursing school, so I know your medical ones, but as far as, street drugs, I don't know much about them. Lily says, right, it's sad. She's always unhappy and eyes half open. She lives far, so don't see her much, but we talk on the phone. You believe she might JG says to Lily she might be on fentanyl now, never know. That's some dangerous stuff. I don't even know why people there's what is it now? Or at the border, there's enough people to kill everybody in the United States or something crazy like that. Um, yeah, dog defender. I would definitely consider doing a panel, Zoom meeting, or call-ins. Definitely, since we are a small tribe. Yep, we're sticking together, guys. We are going to grow. It may help the chat and conversation match up, so you are not always left confused due to the timing. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little confusing. Like, wait, what? I would love to do that. Um, and I saw something too. This one guy, he's like, "Give me some subscriptions if you like me. Subscribe. Look." And I try not to do that too much, but feel free to hit that like button. Helps me with the algorithm. But he had a point. Like, he's starting to interview people, and he's like, the more subscribers I have, the better I can better people I can interview. So yeah, I would love if you guys want to help grow this channel, because it helps us and it helps me and it would help bring in some bigger names. I've already done one podcast with Dare to Know, with Dare number two, no, KNOW. But yeah, I would, yeah, let me give you my email address again, and I'll have to figure out how to do that. I would love it if you guys want to join in. And I've seen some other YouTubers doing that. I was going to wait till I hit 2,000, but I'm kind of close to 2,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. All the love out there. Isn't fentanyl like when people get from off the street? It is off the street, but it's also used in the medical field, um, if I'm correct. Uh, you can dispel many drug thoughts. Michael Jackson was on propofol. Oh, maybe. Same drug use. Wasn't there something with fentanyl too? And you're ringing a bell. Maybe it was just propofol. Okay, maybe I got confused. Yes, you are right about the propofol. Uh, and that's what, I know that's different, fentanyl and propofol, but sometimes too, just one little letter, if you write an E instead of an I, it's a whole different drug. And I didn't go to nursing schools way back in 97. So dog defender. My husband is a narcotic detective. So any questions, I'm happy to answer what I know and will ask whatever I don't. Ask him why everybody's doing fentanyl. Like, why? Is it a downer? Because I thought it was propofol. So I got confused. Cynthia, you and I, interestingly, are very similar. LOL. I bet you would never have thought that being how our first interaction went. Yeah, maybe, but yeah, because I think I told you mine was a state cop and he went undercover narcotics, not when we were together, but yeah, grew his hair out and yeah, yeah, he was undercover. He was a good cop. I will say that he was a really good cop, but hmm, interesting. So is it a canine dog defender? Huh, huh, huh. We had some German shepherds, so that's cool. So I love having I'm a triplet then. So are you a little like Samantha, or is it do I have two branches of twins? um, but yeah, fentanyl is definitely on the streets. I don't I don't know why people even mess with it. Like, I get it, you want to get high, but it's like that's a high risk, But then there's people who skydive and Um, it is prescribed in the form of transdermal patches or lozenges and can be diverted for misuse and abuse in the United States. Perfect. Thank you. I believe that. Um, that's just so scary. But you see, I knew someone too who was a friend's friend had a meth lab and that burnt down his entire barn and house. I knew another girl that I met. She was making, yeah, she was making meth, and or is I think it was meth. Um, and so she was bringing back all these like toxic, combustible, like spontaneous combustible things. And it's like she's even saying, "Yeah, the car could blow up." I'm like, "Why are you guys doing this?" Um, Dog defender, the more people of upstanding character you do with others, it will definitely bring more people. Yeah, you can chat with me offline and give me some names to go look at. I would love that. I would love that because I would love to make this grow, you know? I think there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of good information that we need. And I honestly believe that through knowledge that we can actually heal a lot quicker because I was talking about building that energy level up. The more I study it, the more I see that it's not a bunch of bullshit. And you can have your own God, you can believe in the universe, you can believe there is no God, but the energy level, you know, and it's weird how this works. And as it's almost like the narcissists in a sense live it, but they live it in a toxic way. If we need to fall in love with the future instead of um, regretting the past. Like if we believe that we are worthy, that we are going to get this and it's going to happen, we have to believe it. We're going to start pursuing it. We're going to start making it happen. We're going to create we're not going to have as many negative thoughts. Um, we're going to picture the future instead of pulling how I mentioned about snapshots. We're not going to pull from the negative snapshots. It's a different change in focus. And if we can keep, nope, a negative thought, nope, we're bringing it positive, nope, bringing it positive. And it's going to take time. But when we do that, the pressure of our brain, the activity of our brain is going to be rewired and it's going to bring us back down into the heart. And when the heart has that, you know, extra energy field, 3 millimeters. And some of us feel so depleted. I should check if you have no energy field, what happens is that when you die, you know, because you can have heart attacks over this stuff. Um, And yeah, dog defender, I'd love that. JG says it is often added to other drugs because of its extreme potency, which makes drugs cheaper. Okay. More powerful, more addictive, and more dangerous. Okay. Yeah, sometimes with the lack of empathy in the drug dealers that yeah, they just want you addicted because that's how they make their money. The more addicted you are, the more money that they're going to make. Dog defender, my husband is on call 15 days a month and gets called in for every overdose. People are thinking they are buying opiates or even weed on the street. It is laced. They don't know. That's what's getting scary. That's why another reason, forget the diet, another reason it's not even worth trying because, people have bad trips. Uh, People die. The things that are it's laced with or even cocaine you buy it and it might be baby powder or cornstarch or whatever. Buy wheat. Yeah, I mean, it is true. Like if you are going to buy it from a safe, place like a dispensary. It should be a little more consistent, but you got to be careful too. There was a Chinese restaurant that literally had dog. Um, yeah, they went through the neighborhood and got neighborhood dogs and cooked them up. They found carcasses in the trash can behind the yeah. So just because something's reputable, you always got to be cautious because there are shady people out there. Um, but that's a safer way. But And I bet you there's a lot of overdoses. I've heard of, people not wanting to get in trouble. Some people I went to high school with, you know, you kind of run into me here and there. You're like, "Oh, what are you up to?" And they tell you, "Well, I had this happen." One girl nearly died. She was at like a party. She overdosed, and they didn't want to really do anything because they didn't want to get in trouble. There was a girl that my daughter went to high school with, and she died because they gave her like way too much heroin, and you know, they didn't want to report it, and a lot of lives are lost. Um, JG, do you have Jeff Spicoli as a thumbnail? I think that's what the guy. Yeah, I think that's who it is from Ridgemont High. So it is scary, these beautiful lives, and that's the thing too. Like in the beginning, you know, the kids might just want to see what it's like, just curiosity. Curiosity kills the cat sometimes. That they might not necessarily be super emotionally unstable, but um, you know, knowledge makes a big difference. If they knew the outcome, hopefully it would deter them, but also with peer pressure. That's why we got to be strong. We don't want to fall into peer pressure either, because that can still happen as adults. Dog Defender recommendation of positive social media page. Do I have a recommendation? Mine. They do have, I'll call it Numi. Uh, Nami, Nami. That's like for like support. If you need like a support person for free, they can be good. So that's one I have. Dog Defender says, begin with yes, fab to read every night. Is that begin with yes is a recommendation? Begin with yes. That might be what you're trying to tell me. I'll have to see what that is. I need to have a notepad by me. Lily says, I hurt my back while doing a yoga class, and that friend offered me Percocet. I would never, but creeped me out that she was quick to try to give me one. Yeah, and it's always good to get it from a doctor if you need it, because there can be contraindications, which I like a cross of when the medications don't work well together, or even just certain things that are wrong with you that it could be be deadly just then. It's illegal to take other people's medications too, and yeah, some people are super like, hey, try it, I love it, you can, yeah, and it's easy to get addicted to it too. um, Different medications. JG says CBD drink juice foam roll. I don't, what's a foam roll? I'm assuming it's I don't know. Dog Defender, the dealers know the drug will kill. And as a business person, I've asked, why would they want to kill their clients? My husband said, because for everyone that dies, 100 new ones are in their way. And yeah, I kind of thought that too. I mentioned that last night. We were watching that movie Ambulance, and it's like I brought that up because it was about like a drug. But was it on the drugs? I don't know. I brought it up last night while we were watching that movie, and why do they do that? Yeah, there's like an endless supply, but I I know some don't want to. Probably the smaller ones don't want to kill off their people. Um, yeah, if they have a big enough supply. That's the thing, just like with narcissists, if the supply is good enough, they're gonna take advantage of it. And if the supply is depleted, they won't take as much advantage of it until they can again. Does that make sense, Dog Defender? I think that's a good analogy. If the drug dealers have a ton of supply, everybody wants to buy their stuff. they're more likely to fuck you and let people die. Um, and when our narcissists, they'll hold on to us and a little more cherished until they have this big supply, and they're always trying to get bigger supply. And so that's where you're going to see this little narcissistic cycle. And Dog Defender says, oh, JG, Mama wants to know, how do you know about drugs? um, oh, it says you know a lot about drugs. I want to know how. But yeah, so yeah, JG, you do know a lot. Lily says foam roll like a mat. It only hurt for a week, but now stay away from yoga, which sucks. Yes, begin with yes is the page. Okay, cool. Oh, are you talking about a yoga? Okay, like, are we talking about? I missed that one. I'm 6'1" and it still went over my head. Um, JG says dealing drugs is a fast money business. Do construction for 20 hours an hour or make 2,000 easily selling dope. Yeah, people are tempted, but that can be a scary life. People start becoming paranoid. Somebody's going to be after them. They use those flying monkeys to kind of either expand out or escape accountability. And it usually doesn't, there's usually going to be a crash. Dog Defender says, I have never been addicted to anything in my life by the grace of God. And that's fantastic. A lot of people, when they're hurt inside, they, they have some kind of vice, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, food, stealing, hoarding. People can get addicted to a lot of different things, even working too much. Um, it's it's almost like we have to stay busy, and a lot of us, there are going to be injuries in our childhood. And what makes it hard with the narcissist is we're coming from a whole different perspective, and we're just not connecting with them. And it's just, we were in the beginning, that um you know uh like seduction stage. They fooled us during that love bombing. Lily says, yes, dog, we're lucky, lots of people are. Yeah, I've been pretty lucky too. JG says street life definitely isn't the way to go. Like, that's so much more dangerous, so much more cutthroat. That dog eat dog world, people don't really have your back. A lot of people using things. Are you? Oh, Lily. Lily gets the gold star today. Sorry, guys. Thanks for coming. Lily wins. No, that was a really good thing, though. Are we addicted to our narc? Are we? Let's think about that. Um, we got to take that focus off that narc. We are addicted, straight up, straight up. Because they're saying, like, it's like a withdrawal as bad as cocaine. We are addicted. We are. And we have to rewire that brain. And our brain is so focused on that we're not thinking clearly. Some of us are starting to heal, which is fantastic. But that makes a crazy noise. um, that question was for dog. Oh, okay. But I answered it. Just like what I've answered questions before too. I'm like, how do you spell CAR? I'm like, oh, I meant, how do you spell car? Something like that. There's times I've given away answers. All right. So that question wasn't for me, but I made the sound for dog. That's a good question. Good question. So I'll let you answer before I say my. All right. I can sing too if you want to hear me sing. Kalibi says, one time the narc woman tried to gaslight me, tried to convince me that there's burning smell in the stairway. That's why she had the door propped open. Ah, yeah, they'll take anything to lure you. Yeah, they can be quite tricky. They'll lure you with anything. I need help. As if I will believe her, I gaslit her brains by saying, oh, maybe someone is cooking drugs. Ha ha. Yeah, and what do you think her intention was? Just kind of like, oh, you can go back in your place. It was false alarm. Do you think she's just trying to screw with you to get you to kind of interrupt your day? What do you think her purpose was? There's usually a purpose, whether it's just, Like how kids used to ring the doorbell and run away, kind of, oh, that was fun. Where it's really not a purpose, but that's what they're doing? Or do you think she was trying to, I don't know, steal from you? Or what do you think? Uh, or maybe ask you out, or who knows? Lily says, I was never addicted to mine. Well, maybe during the love bombing, got caught up in the love is blind. Yeah, I think um, some people after that, they're like, easier to say, okay, it's over. It's not working. I see it's not working. Look up foam roller. What is a foam roller? All right. Uh, oh yeah, Lily will Google it. See what I don't know how to turn that off. Where my phone just makes sounds every time I try to do something. Oh, I had to turn on notifications. Maybe I got to return that off. I couldn't get into my YouTube because I had my notifications on. I don't want those on, but if I don't have it on, I can't do the two-step verification. That's why it's going crazy. So Lily's going to look that up for us. And Dog Defender, your phone died. Did I miss something? It is utter chaos here, but I will not give this live show up. We're having a live show up today. It's going good tonight. I love the conversations that we're having. And I know I could turn the sound down. Can I tell you my trauma? Um, is my daughter and her boyfriend both had dogs, a Doberman and a pit bull. And I didn't want her to have a pit bull, but she kind of with her dad. I don't know. She's got a pit bull, but I had the worst dog fight right in front of me. I was the only one home. 9 hours of blood to clean up. So she took her dog to the vet, and I'm cleaning up the blood. And I had my phone. I was carpet cleaning the blood up. So I put my phone on vibrate, put it in my pocket, and then her boyfriend's dad called kind of about the incident. And I'm talking to him, and I put my phone down, and I didn't hear it because I didn't put it back. I always have my phone on ring, and that was the one time I needed to make that have my phone ready. And she had to put her dog down without me. She was reaching out to me, and I wasn't there for her. So I'm always traumatizes me where I'm like, I'm having my phone on. So that's why, because of my trauma from that. Um, and because my phone was working, it was right by me. I just never had it on. And I forgot to put it back in my pocket because I didn't usually have it that way. So Kalibi says she was trying to scare me of all the people she knows. Yeah, she shouldn't mess with you. Dog Defender, no, Lily, not addicted to narc. Was hoodwinked, then terrified because of the psychopathic mind games. Yeah, sometimes it gets too scary, and it's like, Dog Defender, I'm a huge dog person. Big trigger. Okay, so yeah, I talked about Chinese food, not when I was in China. Um, China is different as far as, yeah, there's a lot of poorness there, a lot of hungry people. Um, when I was there was like this beautiful Rodeo Drive kind of thing, and you go literally right around, kind of like probably around my townhouse, how you just go around that corner from the edge to the edge, just go around the facade, and it was like excessively poor, dirty, filthy, cramped street markets, and dire straits looking. Um, and they eat like scorpions and like every body part of the animal. I had some soup that it even had like my first day there. My friend, we landed on my birthday. It just so happened this trip. Um, started on my birthday. And so she takes me out to this restaurant, and it's a little piece of chicken or a little chicken, but it had like the claws and the beak and the eyes, and it was all deep fried together. And then they had soups where you go to get the soup, and there's like chicken legs and like the claw. Uh, and bone marrow. They love bone marrow, sucking it out of a straw, and it was different. Uh, and then yeah, it's Um, I don't know. I get it. I get it. Um, we see animals a little different, and it's hard too because they use them as pets too. So it's not like that's not a pet to them. Um, it's hard. Yeah, I get it. Ebony, hi Ebony, good to see you. Ebony has joined us. We're having a fantastic talk. So if you guys are liking this, go ahead, hit that like button. Lily says, just like it says, a foam roller, lol, to use after or during yoga, JG. Okay, yeah, so I know what you're talking about then. I would call it a roll up. You would have called it a roll up, I would have thought. Um, and Lily is saying, hi to Ebony, foam roll your back out. That would be nice. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, hopefully, yeah, not having after or during yoga could be interesting. Dog Defender says my CPTSD is from dog fights. Oh, yeah, I had that from. That was horrible. Like I did not realize how bad dog fights could be. And I couldn't stop it no matter what I did. Owning a rescue lends itself to the possibilities. I cannot talk about it to this day. My friends go to Fight Yukon Meat Festival where they steal companion animals. Okay. Yeah. And I hope I didn't say anything that was a little bit too much. Um, and I don't know what the Yukon Meat Festival, they steal companion animals to use as. That sounds gross. Terrible. I think I know what that is. Um, JG says inversion is good for your back too. Yep. Stretch that back out. Lily says sounds good. Yulin. Okay. Yulin. Uh, that's probably some pinion going on. JG says sleeping on a hard mat, good for joints and spine realignment. Yeah, but I broke my tailbone 3 times, so it's hard for me to lay on hard stuff. Kalibi says she was trying to scare me. That's how evil her brains work. Yeah. She even has 2 brains. Um, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Right and left hemisphere. Uh, yeah, and it's like, what's the purpose in scaring you? What is the purpose? Just to exert dominance or get a kick out of it. Lily says, I sometimes get lower backache due to years of pounding hardcore aerobics. Now I do sometimes Zumba or incumbent bike. Oh, I just bought 2 bikes so I could go bike riding. Zumba is fun. I like Zumba and incumbent bike. That's always good too. Dog Defender says, JG, I am a double down feather bed on top of a memory. We're twins. um, double down. I love feather beds on top of a memory foam bed. The softer, the better for me. I used to have a bad back and went the hard bed route. It worked the opposite for me. Yeah, I can't sleep on something too hard. Gigi says, Lily, try inversion, opens up your spine. Uh, yeah, it will. It does help. A dog. See, I'd try it, but then I would be 6'2" or 3. I don't want to get taller. Dog defender Cynthia, I broke my tailbone twice. And part of your sacrum is fused. Mine might be too. I don't know. I had, it's supposed to be just like a little, you got your little vertebrae and then just, but yeah, I got a big old knot. I don't know if I could show you guys where it kind of, and your sacrum is fused. It might, yeah, mine kind of sticks out. I got like a little tail. It might bend over. I don't know if you can see it. See if you can still see it. It's like, I don't know. You might not be able to see it in these jeans, but yes, like sometimes when I bend over, it sticks out. Yeah, and I knock it on things too. I get in my car and whack it on the door handle or the door jam, and then also sometimes sitting on the toilet. It's a pain. So you broke yours too. Oh gosh, poor girl. Um, you one time sat with kids in gym hard floor, and my tailbone hurt for a week. Yeah, I literally, they can hurt. Mine took like years. Um, I broke it doing the little Charlie Brown where I went to kick a soccer ball and landed on my tailbone, broke it then. Another, I was in a car accident and there's like a metal rim on the seat and it slammed. And then the other one was when I had my daughter. I broke it 3 times. And now it's like a big old knot of bone. Uh, So, okay. So I just see how you ask, but you're built like, oh, Lily, we're twins too. JG Cynthia bailed on front side 540 and broke her tailbone. I don't know what front side 540 is. I'm very naive. So I, I'm very naive on stuff like that. So tell me what that secret code means. Do I work out? I should work out more, but I'm actually gained some weight, so I'm not as thin as I usually am. Um, but I'm very active. I'm very active. I used to be a gym teacher too, so always on the go. I don't really sit down. I think that's why I've gained a little bit of weight. Is like doing a lot of YouTube and research lately. And I gained a little bit of weight when I had knee surgery. So Samantha says, I just came back online to see. And then you want to see my butt? I need views. I need subscribers. Please subscribe. um, oh, and so funny. It's giving me a pop up ad. Hold on. So Sam, I hope you like that. I'm in desperation for subscribers. Well, hold on, let me scroll up. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't know. If you don't like my butt, you don't unsubscribe. Show some mercy. Um, where's John? John, um, yeah, where'd John go? He was are you still here, John? Usually signs off. You work 6 plus miles a day. That's fantastic. I do, walk a lot. Like I said, but I can't handle the cold. So, I'm having a little bit of a hard time. Uh, but I do like to work out. I got my roller skates and my ice skates. I just with my mom being in the hospital, I haven't been able to do that kind of stuff, unfortunately. You have issues with your cervical spine for the first time. You're C6. Oh my god, that's not good. Yeah, it can your cervical and your neck. That's you gotta be careful with that one. Did you ever break that? What kind of issues do you have with it? That's it's like right down in here. Uh Dog Defender says, Samantha, LOL, you have a great sense of humor. My I like how you said that. I came in and what? So that's great that you work 6 miles a day. I would like to do that. I need to have more time. And you feel good doing that too. In the summer, I go to the beach every day and go swimming. I love to swim. So JG says research inversion tables. I only sit talking to us. I know. I know. I only sit when I'm talking to you guys. I never I don't really sit down. Isn't that weird? Topsy teeter. JG says, dog defender sometimes never leaving work. Oh, interesting. Oh, John, yes, you were out testing roller skis. See, John, we love you. Did you see that they were just you were there? I think you said that you were going to be doing stuff and listening. Dog defender, remember Horseman? Is he okay? I worry about him. He has checked in. He was the one who was in the middle of that to do when his girlfriend was like psycho on him. He was locked upstairs in the upstairs, didn't have his phone, reached on to us asking for help, didn't have a way to call 911. And luckily, the neighbors called the police. He is okay. She got arrested. She had knives on her person when they arrested her, and he moved. Out of the area. So he's safe now, which is fantastic. Good. That's sweet that you remember. He was on my mind too. He did check back in on that same call. So he's checked in 2 or 3 times, maybe. Louise, good to see you. And am I saying it the right way, Louise? I always get Louis and Louise. That's Louise. Louise Rodriguez. Rodriguez. Good to see you. Um, and JG, if I and I think Louise, uh, I think I get that name mixed up because somewhere along the way somebody had Louise and said it was Louis. So just like how some people spell names different ways. That might be why. So hopefully I'm saying that name for the way you like it. Lily says muscle has memory. It does. And if I don't work out, I lose all muscle. Um, yeah, I can gain it quick and I lose it quick. So I gain it and I lose it quick too. Yeah. So luckily it doesn't take much to get back in shape, but I got to keep doing it. And it gets frustrating. Um, and it does have memory. So that's why, try to sit up straight, which I'm not doing, hold your stomach in. Um, and it does, it has memory. John says, I banged my tailbone this summer while I was testing out the roller skis. Ouch. Yeah, it can hurt terrible and for a long time. Dog defender never broke my neck, but you have fallen downstairs. Broke my leg falling downstairs that way. 5 cracks in it, spiral fracture, also broke this because I landed on my leg. So we both have fallen downstairs. There's another. How did you fall down the stairs? What happened with you? I had my daughter on me, and so I slipped. There's 12 steps. It took 1 step, and my leg slipped because the floor was wet. I don't know who Travis Scott is. Who is Travis Scott? I think I've heard that name though. JG, fast metabolism, lose weight, and muscle appetite is savage. Oh, yeah, I don't really have a big appetite. You got lucky. But you got that fast metabolism, so it works out. Samantha gives JG a big hello and love, and JG's loving back. Oh, Lily says that's good though. Same with me. Eat like a horse. LOL. Oh, if I eat over 1,200 calories, I gain weight, and I'm 6'1". It's like, dude, I should be able to have like 2,500. Like, dang it. Kalibi says, I'm sure the narc woman didn't like the triple lock that I have on my door. She just didn't. They are there to deter the crazy narcs like her who is into witchcraft. I've met some people into witchcraft too. She and her witchy friends. Yeah, they pick targets. They pick targets. They don't usually pick targets to help that I've seen. It's to get their way to, you know, um, victims from what I've seen, you know. Uh, Lily says the Griffin brothers on YouTube, you have to watch them skate. What kind are they, like dance skate, or what kind of skaters are they? Kalibi says, so she plays along that I am scared. I'm scared of mentally deranged people. Okay. So she's fucking with you to terrorize you. Thinks it's funny. Uh, Louis says, do you know any rapper from the 90s, 2000s, or no? Uh, yeah. Who are you thinking of? Wheezy. We got like I like Eminem, and JG remembers. Yes, I know Eminem. I even went to his trailer park, and I grew up on 12 Mile. He has that 8 Mile video. Um, and then Kid Rock lived, just a few miles from me too. Skate or skateboard? I think. Oh, what kind of skater boy are we talking about? We're talking about skateboards. Yeah, okay, roller skates. The guys are great. Dance, yes, but on the shorts, so is really good. Oh, okay. I love Griffin Brothers. I will start having to have a notebook. You guys give me lots of things. And as a teacher, I should always have a notebook. What am I thinking? Um, yeah, I love seeing that. I was on an it was ice dancing. I was on a precision ice dance team, which is different, but it's amazing with roller skates or uh, what people can do. So, so somebody asked me about rappers. Yes, I do know some rappers. What would you like to know about them? You're 12 years old and you're a rapper. Some advice on being a YouTube. Well, I'll tell you what, Louise, I'm going to make you a deal. We kind of talk about some grown up things. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice and then I'm going to give you my email address. And then I kind of need to get back to talking with the adults. So does that sound fair to you, Louise? And being a YouTuber, I'll just go over it real quick for Louise. Is that, you have to continue on with your content, and I'm only gonna talk like 1 or 2 minutes on that, just because it's off topic, but I wanna help you real quick. You have to be consistent with your posting. Is he actually 45? Well, it might be, uh, dad's account. It might be dad's account. Um, but, best content you can have, don't give up and be consistent. So pretty much every day post things and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So I'll give you my email address. You can write that down and then I got to get back with the grown-ups, okay? Does that sound fair with you? Want to help you, but it's kind of adult stuff. So I'll give you some more advice if you email me. Um, but that's the thing, like you know, uh, achieving your dreams, whatever they are, whether it's us getting back on track or somebody who wants to break into YouTube, is you gotta believe it's gonna happen. You gotta focus on the future. Don't look at the past. Don't let negativities set you back. By believing in yourself, you're gonna uh, achieve so much more. You're going to attract so much more. Like Elvis, he was turned down. Um and he never gave up. So just because one person doesn't believe in you doesn't mean it's meant to give up. So that's where you have to Rakim. So JG is saying to look up I don't think it's Rackham, I think it's Rakim. But that's some good advice. And is that true, JG? What, that he's 45 or to look up JG or roller skating's whack? What? It's because you don't know how to do it. We're on to you. No, JG, it's not whack. They say that inline skates are easier than roller skates. I actually prefer uh, the four wheels. Lily says roller skating's whack. It's just because you don't know how to do that. Oh, you're hurting my feelings and Lily's feelings. It's like so fun to do. I actually went just a few weeks ago. um, that's all right. We're all different. We're all different. And that's okay. That's okay. Skateboarding's way better. My daughter had to have the most horrendous surgery ever. Oh, completely broke her leg, shattered it. And all it was she was inside, went to show my grandson how to do it. So she took one step and it slipped and it was on like a nice waxed wood floor. Just and somehow how she landed, it destroyed 45 pins or so plus plates. I like it for the exercise too. Yeah. And it's just fun to get out there. Um, Skateboarding, I haven't I like roller skating better because I haven't mastered skateboarding and you know, never broke a bone growing up skating. I've had so many broken bones. And yeah, like my entire it started in 5th grade and I almost constantly had a cast on, almost constantly, and it rotated between his arms, legs, fingers. Broke my collarbone, broke my tailbone 3 times, and just everything. Fell off my crutches, broke my arm. So I already had a broken leg, so I was in a wheelchair. Toes, everything. I know it's way up here, too tall. And I was in a terrible car accident and like not horrendous terrible, but pretty bad. Smashed my knee like right into the dashboard. I was like, all right, nothing broke. And I got like smoke coming from like dust from the airbag exploding, and my whole car is impaled in me. And I'm like, I was like in celebratory mood because nothing broke. And, I do a dumb little thing. And, I told you I said, dang it, and turned when I missed a free throw, needed surgery. It's just dumb, the accidents I have, but the real ones, I don't get hurt. Uh, yeah, I miss Glass, I know. And I have a crush on George Glass. Do you know who George Glass is? I want to be Mrs. Glass. Let's go roller skiing. You've designed skis with wheels that actually work. But see, I am scared to do stuff. I'm not a party pooper, but I don't want to end up in the hospital. I have I've been downhill skiing before. I love it. But what goes through my head is my mom. What'd she do? She had an accident when she was skiing, so I'm a little scared to do that, you know. And also, I went cross country skiing, and my foot fell through. Luckily, it wasn't too deep. It was like a creek, but yeah, I got stuck in ice water, and I have terrible memories of my friend's mom talking about this story when she was younger of getting trapped under the water. She fell through the ice and had to like search to get out of the water. So, and then I also have a cousin who fell into ice. They had like a pond and would go s- ice skating on it. He fell through, and he's lucky to be alive. But I like that. So I got a nickname too. Thank you, JG. Lily says I broke my foot missing a step when I was 19. That's it. Thank God. Yeah. Um, it's no fun. It's no fun having a broken bone. Lily says, oh, sorry, John, they are a little tricky getting used to. I bet they would be. I bet they'd be fun. And our roller skiing, is that now if it was like cross country skiing, I wouldn't mind doing roller skis that way. But if you're talking downhill, I'll fall. I'll fall. Um, so if you're talking cross country type style, I could definitely do that. That I'm not afraid to do. I just don't want to break. Like I went to that mud bog and I did like a quad run, a four wheeler for the first time. I ran over my own foot, and like my foot got stuck in the mud, so it went over like my ankle part, and luckily it was muddy enough that it pushed my foot down because I went right over the ankle. Thank God I didn't break it, but I do stupid shit. I ran over my own foot. Another one is I jumped out of a moving car when I was in high school to wish the boys, the football players, good luck on their next game. And yeah, my foot went under and the car ran over my leg. So your daughter was so clumsy growing up, but miraculously never broke anything. So she's lucky. Yeah. I wasn't so lucky. Louis says, tell me one 45-year-old that was a Travis Scott wears a Travis Scott profile picture. Ah, I think that's JG. Or who do you, I can't see who's Louise. I can't see who's your in yours. So Louise, is this your 12? JG says, look up. Is it Rakim? I don't think it's Rackham. Could be Rackham. MF Doom, Cool G Rap, Big Pun. John says they are not designed to be used downhill, too risky. Just on even terrain. Yeah, then I'd be down for that. That would be fun. So Cynthia Travis Scott is married to Kylie Jenner. Oh, I know who Kylie Jenner is, or with her. Oh, right. Rakim or Rakim? Kim? Rakim? I don't know who. Sometimes too, I have to see them. I have to see them. So I'm not really good with the names, just like you can see Travis Scott. So yes, I do. I've been watching this one lady. I love her. She does Kim Kardashian, or well, like the Kardashian skits. I don't know if you've seen her. I can't remember her name. Um, but she just does like, oh my God, Kim. And she just like, she's really funny. It's like a satire or something. I think that's correct. But she's got them on point, but it kind of, with I don't know. I want to study them too. You know, there's a lot of I don't know, just the dynamics between the sisters is really interesting and what they find important and um, yeah, I need to study before a little more before I say something, but I love that. They had I don't know, that whole family, the dynamics and things like that, pretty interesting. So I think I'm gonna get ready to log off for the evening so I can call my mom. I'm gonna go visit her tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a little later. Are you guys cool with 9 or 10? Probably 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow evening? Because I would love to see you guys. You guys have been a great support. And thank you for joining. I'd love to do like where we have two, three, four, five, a panel, whatever, interact with each other. That would be so cool. I would love to do that. So, guys, thanks so much for joining. Oh, Louise, I would love that. I would love it if you can donate. Uh, 10's too late. Okay, I'll try to be on at 9. That's about as late as I can go. Is that cool? Luis, I would love that. There is a button. There should be a button, or there's underneath. There's like a dollar sign, so you can click on that. There's also there's stuff underneath. Am I in bed? Oh, for JG. Yeah, I would love that, Luis. That would make me very happy. I appreciate the support. Whatever time fits me. Yeah, so I trying to think. Probably gonna head out here at like 11, get to mom's at like 3 because I gotta stop at the bank. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can do before 9. So yeah, that would make me happy, Louise. There, do you guys see where on your side where the there's like a show your support for a soul survivor? You'll see like some emojis right next to it as a dollar sign. And then what's a plus? Oh, engage with your audience. Let's see how I can do that. You're an old man now. Yeah. And I'll be back on I go back to work, go back to teaching on Sunday. Or Monday. And see how my mind works? I think that I'm already preparing ahead. So I'm working towards the future. That's the thing, too. You'll feel better, too, the more you have a routine, you know? And I got to kind of do that. um, everyone coming to my live. What do you mean? Everyone, are you having a life? Listen to the best rappers while you're young. Good luck on your teaching job. You're the best. Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying the teaching though. I got to get some lesson plans going, order some supplies because kids don't always take care of things. So definitely some new markers and want to get creative with them. I wish they would follow the rules a little bit better. Rules are really important. And that's why even with these narcissists that, things would fall into place. Uh, if people just do what they're supposed to do, there's reasons for that. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. And feel free to support the channel. I would appreciate that. Thanks so much, guys. Feel free to hit that like button, and I will see you guys soon. Later. Peace out.